Mr. Danielson will be filming us today. So thank you for being here, Bruce.
Big day yesterday, a big celebration, the one-year anniversary of the Denny Sanford Premier Center. And you said at the ceremony yesterday that this thing, what the last year has exceeded your wildest expectations.
It did. I think it exceeded everybody's expectations. I mean, going into this, we certainly had high hopes, but not like this. 633,000 people went through the doors, 12 sold-out events. Some of the biggest stars in America came to Sioux Falls, and we rocked their world. The facility was just so efficient, so productive, so well received by the industry. Pollstar named the Denny Sanford Premier Center one of the five best new venues in the world, and which was just tremendous. We had these. The Storm, they had captured their championship there. The Stampede, they captured their championship there. The Summit League basketball tournament captured the attention of America because of our rabid fans and just how well we love women and men that are competing in sports at a college level, and just so much fun. And then 6 months in, we generate $1.1 million in profit in 6 months. I mean, Sioux Falls in South Dakota. That just doesn't happen with a public venue. You don't make profit like we're doing. And we've not released the new numbers yet for the year, but I think we're going to blow people away there too. Not everything has been great. We certainly, the biggest issue by far that we had was trying to educate people on how tickets, how do you get tickets to a monster event like the Eagles or Elton John or Jason Aldean or Eric Church or whatever it would be. That was a challenge, but even that is quieted down. But yeah, just a lot to celebrate, including the metal panel issue. That thing is now behind us.
That was one of the other things I would have asked about. Is you got the settlement announced this week, and
we got to talk about that too. I think that's important that we talk about that. But yeah, it's a great time to celebrate. And maybe just quickly, folks, if you've not been to your Denny Sanford Premier Center, if you've not been there, there's a variety of free events that are happening this weekend. Go out there. Just go out there. There's you can go ice skating, you can watch a movie, you can get free popcorn. Just go check it out, and I think that you'll see that we've got just an unbelievably beautiful event center on the inside, but also on the outside too.
As we were just talking about the issue of that settlement, Weston calls. He's got a question about the settlement. Good morning, Weston. You're on Kello.
Good morning, Weston.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Greg. I was just wondering, was the $1 million settlement, was that not enough to fix it, or what was the reasoning that you decided not to fix it? I guess, I don't know, it's just for me personally, I think of it as kind of like a new car, you'd want to get it fixed, because it's nice and new, I mean, especially when it has such an impact on the visual of the, of the center.
Yep.
And I don't know, I guess, just to think that 10 years from now, those panels will be bulging out like that. I guess
It's a great question.
No, it's spot on, Weston, and very, very good job. And certainly we think about those questions or those opportunities just like you do. The issue itself was one of aesthetics. We wanted, we had planned on it being just something different. So we did have, the issue was of aesthetics. We got the parties together to talk about that, to try to find what we would consider the best solution for that aesthetic issue. Ultimately, we decided as a team that the $1 million settlement amongst the parties would be compensation that would allow us to move forward as a city. When we evaluated the panels themselves, they are very, very structurally sound. They are doing exactly what they were supposed to do in terms of protecting the building, and as well as providing a aesthetically pleasing structure. We've got the 20-year warranty on the panels that still remain. And Weston, here's something that I guess I considered as your mayor. We had 633,000 people that went through those doors. I didn't get to shake all their hands. I didn't get to give them a hug and a welcome. But I will say this, as your mayor, and I think I've got a pretty good pulse on the town. I have had, as your mayor, I had 0 people contact me about the look of the metal panels on the outside. 0. And that was, during or before, just 0. Now, I got 3 emails yesterday, Weston, where they said kind of almost the same thing that you said, almost identical. Hey, Mayor, we got this $1 million. My recommendation would be let's replace the metal panels. And again, I respect that. I do, because, but I will tell you this. When you look at the metal panels, even though they're not exactly what we wanted, I still think that we've got an absolutely beautiful event center. I really do. And so, Weston, again, I commend you for what you're saying. I think that we just believe, because they are structurally sound, because they are doing what they're doing, because we do have the 20-year warranty, because we do have a beautiful building on the outside, and because we can now move forward without dealing with this for another 1.5 to 2 years. That's what we thought was in the best interest of this town. And I think that we won't even be talking about this in about a week or 2.
Now, for those who don't know what you're doing with that money, explain what you've rather than repair the panels, where will that money be used?
Thank you. And Weston, kind of to your point, let's say we've got that brand new car and somebody bumps into our bumper. And that is, you get the insurance money and you don't repair the bumper. However, you do take that money and you go, okay, now what are you going to do with it? We've got a variety of options. Number one, we want to make sure that we don't just spend it needlessly. We won't do that. We have been squeezing this $117 million at the highest level. And that's why, again, Polestar and others, they look at this event center and they go, how in the world did you build it for that much money? Because you've got just such a jewel. We're going to continue that process now going forward. We'll take that $1 million and we'll try to figure out where do we get the biggest bang for our buck in terms of enhancing our event center even more. That could be, lighting in the parking lot. It could be improved concessions. It could be this or it could be that. But it truly needs to meet the need that we have before we'll spend that money. And if we don't spend it, we don't spend it. We'll use it for maintenance years down the road. That's probably Weston. And again, you sound like a really smart guy. Weston, we did build this thing for less than $117 million. We did. We're going to have some contingency money left over, which is, again, probably unheard of, but we're going to. So we're going to save that so that we've got money to use in the future. And now we'll throw this $1 million into that pot, too. And that really makes sure that this event center, long after I'm the mayor, will still have adequate funds to really keep it beautiful for years and years to come.
And I was saying yesterday, I kind of feel, as we talk about those exterior panels, you can see it when you look for it.
Yeah.
But if you're not looking for it, you really don't notice it. At least I don't.
Greg, you're right. And here's another thing is that when you look at other metal panel buildings across the country, they look just like our event center. They do. And in some cases, I've had folks that have written me saying, I actually think that it adds to the aesthetics to the building. But again, everything is in the eye of the beholder. Everything is. That's why we all dress differently. That's why our homes look differently. That's why we drive different cars. We all have different tastes. And again, there will be some that think that, it's not as nice as it can be. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. And now we've got $1 million in our pocket that we can use to enhance the event center even more.
Sioux Falls Mayor Mike Huether. Sioux Falls Mayor Mike Huether is here. More with the mayor coming up. Now's a great time to call. If you've got a question for the mayor, call us now. 336-1320. Brownie will get you locked and loaded. 1-800-228-4435. Falls Mayor Mike Huether is here. And talking about the event center, the settlement last week, city receiving $1 million for those warped panels on the some of the panels warped on the event center. Greg is on the line. Good morning, Greg. You're on Kello.
Oh, good morning, Greg, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning, Greg.
I'm one of those weird people. When I first seen them panels going up, I thought they were cool.
Thank you.
I loved the way they looked.
Thank you, Greg.
I thought that was part of what they were supposed to be. Because
And-
when I first saw them going up, they were already wrinkled or waving.
Yes.
So
And you're not alone, Greg. Again, it's all in the eye of the beholder. People look at things differently, and some people think it adds to the look of it. But again, I think, and Weston is right, and you're right, Greg. You're both right. But again, they are functionally doing what they're supposed to do, and we are able to move on and capture even more great memories with our event center and use that $1 million for other things that that are necessary. Because it is a building that it is going to need improvement over the years, and now we've got more money to do it. And folks, I think you have to understand something. You know me by now. I'm pretty much a taxpayer guy. I'm going to fight for you folks. I'm going to try to squeeze the dollars that you give us, and if we can ever get some extra cash in the coffers, we're going to do that. We've been adding money to our city's piggy bank for the 5.5 years I've been your mayor. Now we're adding money to the coffers of the event center. I think that's a good thing. But Greg, good job. Did you have any other comments, Greg, on the event center or anything else?
no, I just loved it when we went there the first time, and I enjoyed it. So.
Can I ask, what was your first concert that you went to, or first event?
Actually, I went to the first open house you had.
Oh, thank you. Well, and Greg, that was free. And again, this weekend is free too. So come on in. We'd love to have you just come on in and check it out. And then you folks can decide on your own, whether this mayor is full of crap or not. But I'll tell you, I have had so many folks from around the Midwest and this area come up to me, and they're just enamored by our event center, and they should be. And I will tell you this, if you think last year was a big year, hang on, because there's some big things coming. Chris Semrau, Terry Torkelson, and others. They've got some big plans for our event center, and I'm just pumped.
Greg, thanks for your call. 336-1320 is our number, 1-800-228-4435. It's 8:37. We've got fog and 64.
What kind of morons run this outfit?